All right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Hope you guys are doing well. This is Prophet John, and we're going to take a look at the coronavirus update here. Okay, so we're at 75,188 infected, and that's what I expected today. The infected rate is slowing down tremendously here, so that's a good sign. But there's a lot of people that are still very, very concerned and worried about this coronavirus, especially in America and other places. I was watching the Three Amigos with Snippy and Cliff High and Big Square, and Cliff High is really concerned about this thing. For me, if we continue to see this slowdown in infections and the speed up of recovery, then I think we're going to be fine. But there I was told that there is one more coming, one more that's more dangerous after coronavirus. So, well, I guess we will see if that happens or not. And But coronavirus looks like it's slowing down. There's deaths is at 2,000 now. We know that these are all the fake numbers, so we don't really know what's really happening. Because everybody that shows the real stuff is getting arrested and getting thrown in prison, and they're in China, and people are knocking on their doors and stuff. So the truth cannot be shown, I guess. So is it 10 times worse than this? Is it 100 times worse than this? We will never know, right? Because a lot of those videos are out there, but they're all being, people are being punished for putting out the truth. If we had the true and we had the true numbers, then things would be a lot different. Okay, the world would be a lot different right now. The world would be in a state of panic if we had the true numbers, in my opinion. The markets would have already crashed, in my opinion. Global markets would have already crashed. See, what these people don't realize, including America and others, is that they're holding up the reset. They're holding up the wealth transfer. They're holding up a lot of these things when they're pumping all this fake money into the markets. They're holding up you and me and others who have invested correctly and are ready for the reset and ready for the reset of currencies, because we're already in the global reset, but we're talking about the currency reset. Okay. And so they're holding up a lot of stuff. They're holding up the market resets. They're holding up a whole bunch of stuff when they do this. And They think that we need to help out, and we need to help by propping fake money in. But all you're doing is making the bubble bigger and bigger and bigger. And when the bubble bursts, it's going to be 10 times worse than what it could have been if you had let the markets just reset on their own and did things normally. Same thing with Obama back in 2008, 2008, 2009. If he had just let the everything reset on itself on its own and not bail out the bank and stuff like that and AIG and stuff, then things would have reset on their own, and companies would have had to reform and restructure themselves properly to never allow that to happen again. See, when you bail people out and when you do fake money into the markets, you don't fix the problem, you make it worse, right? There is no reforms, there is no reconstruction, there is no guilt because we got bailed out for doing wrong. And that's what's going on now. The economy is being bailed out for doing wrong, right? Propped up with fake money and all that stuff. So if the markets go with the coronavirus still out here doing damage, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be even worse, right? So coronavirus doing this thing. We got 2,000 deaths now, 208, and people are gonna say, well, that's not a lot. You're comparing it to the whole entire globe, where it's 75,000 infected, 2,000 deaths. But then when you look at the actual videos from Hong Kong and people, our dead bodies are in the streets, then you realize that a lot of the dead bodies are not even accounted for. Because these dead bodies are probably from the hospitals. But what about all the dead bodies in the streets? What about all the dead bodies that are already at at the cemeteries and stuff? Dead bodies that are shoved underground or in sewages and all types of places. that haven't been accounted for. Thousands and thousands or hundreds of thousands of dead bodies, right? If you flip this around, maybe this should be here and this should be here, right? And they're forcing everybody to go back to work. I think it's mandatory that everybody is back at work March 1st. I think Cliff High was talking about that on a live stream. That it's mandatory that everybody's back at work in March 1st. Imagine if you still have this thing and you can't say anything because you have to be back at work March 1st, and now you're spreading it throughout everybody. I mean, this is crazy, but this is what they do. This is why communism must die, and this is why communism is going to die. In this, I believe that out of this viruses, not all these viruses that are coming, and the communism is going to die, and people are going to want freedom. People are going to want to live like Hong Kong is living, because I guarantee you, people that are in Beijing and all these other in Shanghai and all these other places that don't have that type of freedom in Wuhan and stuff who are in communists, and they don't have the Hong Kong freedom, because Hong Kong has freedom, right? They basically believe in the American democratic way, right? And so when they see that, they get jealous. They get jealous and they get angry, you know. Um, Especially the government. I mean, I'm really talking about the government people, right? They hate it. They hate freedom. They want the world to be under communism, where they don't get no freedom, and you don't get to do what you want. We tell you what to do, and so that's going to go away. The new guy that's going to come in for Xi Jinping is going to be more friendly to China and his people. Okay, well, guess I just Well, you guys already for you guys that are I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. Talking to, because this is not Patreon. This is Eyes Open Media. So some of you guys probably said, "What did you just say?" I'm not repeating it, but I got to remember that this is not Patreon. And this is not Currency 365 as well. This is Eyes Open Media, and you guys don't know a lot of it. If you guys just watch this channel and you're not part of my Patreon, Currency 365, you're missing out on a lot. But and that's okay, because you don't have to. It's not forced. You're not No one's forcing you to sign up to anything. But I got to remember that you guys don't know a lot, right? On that aspect, because we talk about it and we teach it over there, and we talk about a lot of that stuff over there. But I think I mentioned it maybe once here on Ice Open Media, but some of you guys that are watching are probably like, What did you just say? Let me rewind that." But okay, so that's what's coming. I'm not gonna repeat it, but if you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, then you'll rewind it. So Hong Kong is down at 62. That's a jump. Japan's down at 74. That's an even bigger jump. Okay, so Singapore is almost at 100 now, 81. By this weekend, maybe by Sunday, we're at 100 for Singapore. All right, and Japan and Hong Kong are out there battling in the top three, and then others we're at 542 now for others, and that continues to grow. U.S. jumped to 29. We had 15 cases just a couple days ago. Now we're at 29. Okay, and there's a lot more, by the way, right? There's a lot more U.S. cases. Cliff High talked about 700 people that are being isolated right now, and then several more that he knows about in Washington State. We know that from the people that are in the Telegram group, you guys know that we have some nurses in there, and they're talking about, and they said stuff like, that there's some stuff in there, you know what I mean? Like there's some people that have the virus and they can't say nothing, right? They can't tell the media. They can't tell the media nothing. So imagine how that is in every state in America right now. There's maybe 13,000 people that are infected or under isolation that no one knows about, because the government of America has told people to shut up about it, or at least told the medical people and the nurses and the doctors to shut up about it, or you'll lose your license. So they can't speak about it. They can't speak about it. So there's a lot of people in different hospitals with this thing, and you'll never know because they can't say anything. And that's crazy, because you would have thought that under Donald Trump, they would have this freedom to be able to say, hey, we got 6 patients over here, we got 10 over there, but nope, not even under Donald Trump. So, and I think Donald Trump's doing that because he doesn't want people to panic and he doesn't want the markets to crash. It's all about the money for Donald Trump, really. At the end of the day, it's keep the markets up. I don't care about nothing else. All right. Under my presidency, keep the markets up. I don't care if you have to print $9 trillion a day. Keep the markets up. And unfortunately, that has become Donald Trump, right? And so now they even people in the hospital can't even speak out, or they're threatened for their jobs and careers. That's crazy. That should never be in a free country like America. But that's what it is, and that's what we're getting being told. Now, this coronavirus could lag or longer than expected, but because Cliff was saying that, man, he expects this thing to last a lot longer. And it might even, I mean, he was talking about how it could survive the summer and stuff. So, and just change and come to America and change a lot of things, a lot of our ways of life and living. But a lot of people think this thing is going to die out in the by April. By late March. April, this thing is going to be gone because of everything's going to start warming up and it's going to be too hot and the virus is just going to go away. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Okay, so we just have to wait and see. The infected numbers are down, and that's a good sign. The death tolls here are not, are not exploding up like massively, and the recovery is exploding here massively. So, and you can see we now have a gap there between the other location and the total recovery, right? So finally, we have a gap, and I think that's just going to continue to rise as the total recovery is going to continue to rise here. So imagine if the total recovery catches the infected, then people are going to be like, okay, the virus is no more. So let's see what happens here within the end of going into March. Let's see where we at. Yeah, we might be at. I mean, if we keep the pace that we're on right now, by the end of February, which is in a couple of days, let's say we do two, let's say we do two a day, 2,000 a day. Um, I'll put another 20,000 on there. So we would be about 95. So 95,000 by the end of the month, right? So somewhere around there. So could we get to 100,000 by the end of the month? The pace that we're going, we're not going to get there, but we'll see. Something we might get another spike, another 5,000 or 9,000 spike or something that helps to get there. But it's gonna be interesting to see if we can get to 100,000 uninfected by the end of the month. I know many of you guys are like, nah, let's not do that. Let's continue to lower it and the infected down, and let's get it down to maybe 30 a day, and then wipe it clean, and everybody recovers, and we're moving on, right? And if the other virus comes out, we'll take care of that one too. But if it doesn't, good. We're done with these viruses, and let's enjoy our spring and summer. So I'm down with that. All right, peace out. God bless, and that's the update. I'll see you guys, and the next update will be 80,000, and that probably will be today's what, Tuesday. So 80,000 will probably be Saturday, either Friday or Saturday. Let's just maybe shoot for Saturday, but it probably will be Friday. So anyway, see you guys for the next update, and we'll see what's going on. Peace out, God bless, and don't get the virus, including myself. May the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit protect us from any virus. It doesn't matter what it is. Shalom. Eyes open.